What's your name?
I should tell you my name.
Absolutely.
Raizel. Raizel Wolansky.
Raizel Wolansky.
Wolansky, that was my maiden's name.
Okay. And what were your mother and father's name?
My father's was Meishe
Meishe
Wolansky.
Wolansky, yeah.
Esther Wolansky.
Esther was your mother?
My mother.
Did you have brothers and sisters?
I had 5 brothers.
5 brothers. So what were their names?
2 was dead when they were very small.
Okay. How did they die?
The older one died in Germany from the First War, 1914.
Was he a soldier?
That's the older brother.
Yeah. How old was he?
Oh, he was about 25, 26 years old.
Okay.
Yeah. Then I had another brother, Bill.
Okay. Beryl?
Bill.
Okay.
He got married.
Mm-hmm.
And his wife was not a well girl,
Mm-hmm.
but she had 2 children,
Mm-hmm.
a boy and a girl.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, that the boy
Yeah.
was with me, with my mother.
Yeah.
My mother was a very sick person.
Okay.
And the little boy I used to call my mother Mama, so he called me Mama, because I took a lot of care on him.
Mm-hmm.
Then in 1934, I came to Canada.
Mm-hmm.
I left my mother. My mother wanted me to go because my husband was 5 years in Canada before me. And I had my mother, a very sick person on my head.
Mm-hmm.
And then he could take me over. That was 5 years after. I says, I'm not going, I can't leave my mother.
Mm-hmm.
My mother's a sick person, and she's going to be alone.
Mm-hmm.
So my mother was a very clever and educated person. She said to me, listen, Mama, you have to go to your husband. This is your life. And I says, Ma, how could I leave you? So my mother went to a rabbi. And she said to the rabbi, Rabbi, I want you to talk to my daughter. She has a husband in Canada, and she does not want to go to him because she doesn't want to leave me. And you should have a talk to her. So the rabbi sent a man for me, and I went over to the rabbi, and the rabbi said, to a man, you go over there, over the yam. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he says, well, your mother's an older person, she's a sick person, but she wants you to go to your husband, that's her wishes. So I went, and I make all my papers ready, mm-hmm. and I came here in 1934.
When did you marry Russell?
I was married in Europe.
Right. When?
I was 5 years married before I came to Canada.
What year did you marry Russell?
I was married to him in 1929.
Okay. I have some questions to ask you. First of all, what city were you born? In what city did you grow up? What shtetl?
In the shtetl, Antipole.
Antipole.
Antipole. And I got married in Homsk.
In Homsk.
By auntie. She made a little wedding for me.
How did you meet Yossel?
I met Yossel when I was 15 years old. He came from Sharchev to work in Antipole.
What was he doing? What work?
He was a shoemaker.
Okay. A shoester.
And my friend met him, and she invited him to the house. And I was with my friend. When he saw me, he was right after me. No matter where I used to be, Yossel was there. And that's the way we met. And the one time was A.B. in Canada,
Yeah.
and Sarah was in Canada.
Right.
So they took him over. And we got married before he left, and he was 5 years here, and I was 5 years in Europe.
So when you were
Yeah.
when you first met Yossel, or Yossel and you first met, how did two young
I did not like him.
You did not like him.
No,
Why not?
I did not like him. I don't know, it wasn't my cup of tea. But it was after me. I have a friend, and my friend had a brother. So he tried to meet my friend's brother. He became friends with him. He should be able to come to his house because I was always there. That was my best friend,
What was her name?
Chamke.
Chamke. Chamke. That's like Sora and Abi's and Yossel's sister. They had a sister Chamke.
Yeah, oh, yeah. And he used to come in there and always, like looking at me, and I couldn't look at him because he looked like, I don't know, it didn't appeal to me. So once was a wedding, and I was on the wedding. And in Europe, you could go in if you're not invited to the dance or something like that. So he came to the dance, and he came to me if I could dance with him. So I danced with him.
Okay.
Hello? Yossel
Okay.
used to
You're
say-
telling me about the wedding, and Yossel asked you to dance, and you
dancing.
danced.
So I was dancing with him, and after we danced, we finished the dance.
Yeah.
So I was staying, and he was behind me, and I had a cut-out dress. He kissed me in the back. And every day, and he had time, he used to come to my friend because I was always there.
Right.
And that's the way.
Beautiful. So how did in Antipol, how did two young people date? What did you do when you?
Me?
Yeah.
I didn't do nothing. I was.
Did you go for walks? Did you have to have
I
a
was
chaperone?
taking care of my mother.
Right. Where was your father?
My father died in 1915,
Okay.
right after the war.
What year were you born? What's your birthday?
My birthday in
Yeah.
1907.
1907. What was the day? May or April?
The 20th of April.
Okay. Of 1907. 20th of April
1907.
1907.
I'm 96 years old. Gonna be 97. If I'll be alive. Not too bad, eh?
You're doing all right. You're doing all right.
Yeah. And in 1934, I came here. I came to Montreal because I have to change. Yossel was in Toronto. And I have to change the time, like by train to go back. So Yossel's cousins came, and they took me from the train, and I was by Minnie and Nellie. I was by them for 3 hours. Then they brought me back to the train, and I went to Toronto, and I was staying on the Yalse Street. That was Uncle Aby was living there, and I had a room, but in the same house.
How did you feel? You just came all the way from Poland, from Antipol.
I felt terrible. I couldn't understand one word of English, and everything was so, like friend.
What do you mean by that?
Nobody didn't know me. I didn't know nobody. I knew Uncle Aby because I met him when he was a soldier. I met him in Breslov.
How did you meet Aby?
Yossel sent me a letter, and he told me where he is, So I went to see him with a friend from Bresk. And when Uncle Abe met me, he used to come every day to see me. Every day he used to come to see me when he was finished, like, you know, like with the soldier.
Yeah.
So he used to come. And that's the way I was in Toronto. But what could I tell you?
What
I don't
memory?
remember how long I was on the Yahtzee. But I was with Uncle Abe and the Sylvie.
Yeah.
I was in a room.
Mm-hmm.
And the kitchen was small like that. And Judith was a little girl. She was not 5 years old.
Judith is Abe's daughter.
Pardon?
Judith is Abe's daughter.
Yeah.
Uncle's niece.
Judith,
Jossel's niece.
Abe's daughter.
Yeah.
And when I was sitting in the kitchen, so Judith comes, she was very rough. I didn't understand the English, but she used to say, "You go away from my chair. I want my chair."
And what was Malka like?
Malka was quiet, always quiet. You know, Malka was a year older.
Mm-hmm.
They was like a twin.
And in Toronto, is this where Moish was born, your son?
My son was born in Toronto. And I was there, but 7 or 8 months together with them.
Mm-hmm.
And then I said to Yossel, we have to try to be for ourselves. He says, we have to pay rent, it's hard. And you know, we didn't make too much. So by the time when I was there, I tried to save cent per cent. I had $150 saved up. $150. I says, and just didn't know that. I used to send a letter to his father. I put in $5. I sent a letter to my mother. I sent $5. I swear by God that Yossel never knew. He never checked with me. One thing, he was very good, you know. And then I said, one Friday night, I said, listen, I want to go for a walk. So, you know, because in the house was Abe, was Sylvie. We went for a walk. I said, look, my dear, I'm not going to stay no more there. I didn't fight with them. I love them. I love Abe, I love Sylvie. We love each other.
It was
But
too
I
small.
wasn't comfortable.
Yeah.
You know, it's one kitchen, it's one toilet. Excuse me.
For two families.
It was hard. So I went on Grange Avenue.
Grange?
Grange Avenue.
Yeah.
You know the...
I know it very well.
Yeah. And I set a sign. So we went in there, and there was older couple. And across was two groceries. These five were sitting in one grocery, they were playing in the back cards. And I go in and I said, it's a bungalow, upstairs a beautiful, beautiful room, and there's a toilet and it's a beautiful kitchen. And I said to him, how much is that? How much do you want rent? He looked at me and he says to me, you know, I don't know. I like you very much. Usually I take 18, but I'll let you for 50. So I said, fine. So we took there the room. I moved in and I was very, very happy there. That was the first Friday. I fixed it up, everything, and Abe.
Yeah.
Jossel came from work. There was light, licht, and there was a halle, chocolate, like you know in Europe.
Yeah.
Everything's, and he came in and he said, that's my home. I says, yeah, that's your home. And he started to cry. He says, you know, finally in my life, I have a home for myself. And we was there for 2 years. I was pregnant with Meisha, and I had Meisha, and I was there, but a year and a half. Meisha was a year and a half when I left Toronto, and I came to Montreal. And they were very good to me. He was an older person, but he was like a father. And I had a beautiful voice. I was always singing. I was doing something and singing. So the man used to say, oh, my canarical. You know, a bird has a name Canarik. So he used to call me, my canarical singt as a shame. And then in time, Yossel lost his job. And it was a very bad time. What could I tell you? A very bad time. I had a neighbor that was Jossel's a sheepherder. And in the front, I have 2 groceries. I didn't have no money. So the grocer said, what's the matter? You don't come in. I said, I was busy. You know, I didn't want no pity. She says to me, if something is happening, you come. Today, you're going to pay me some other time. It wasn't in me. Anyway, what could I tell you? Time passes by, and Yossel got a job in Montreal, and finally he said you could come. How do you come if you have no money? So his shift over there lent me $15. I should be able to get a truck and go on train.
Tell me, what is a shift brother and a shift schwester?
I forgot his name, you know.
But a shift brother is somebody you met, a person you meet on the boat.
But he met him on the ship.
Yeah.
You know, they came together.
You came to Canada by ship.
He came together.
But when you came to Canada, you came by ship.
Yeah.
So what was your trip like from Antipole to Canada?
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Yeah.
How did you get from, was Antipole near water?
Antipole bin ich gefahren in Warschau. Von Warschau aber gefahren in Deutschland.
By train.
By train. And then in Deutschland bin ich gewesen eine Woche. You know, they check the here, they check there, check there. And then we go to the boat. Exactly the names I don't remember. So many years.
Of course.
And,
But the boat, what was the boat like? Was the boat trip difficult?
the boat trip I was sick. The first day I was beautiful. The second day I was like a dead fish. Till I came here.
And how long was the boat?
2 weeks.
2 weeks on the boat.
On the boat.
Were you scared? Were you scared? Were you afraid?
I wasn't afraid, but I was sick. And there was a mother and a daughter, like came from my area, not from my shtetl, but not far from my shtet. So they took care of me. They brought my water, they brought me tea, and I was sick, terrible. The ocean, you know, didn't agree with me. Right. Yeah, well, this is the story. What else?
Did you have did you have any shift schwesters or shift brothers? Did you have any? Did you meet any friends?
Not here.
No.
No. I had 2 landsmen, a brother and a sister. Finally, they both dead. And I was very close with them. As a matter of fact, my what is it? One man from mine city, his wife stays here, and we're very friendly.
What was her name?
Claire Boyer.
Okay. Tell me, I want to go back a little bit.
Yeah.
I want to ask you a little bit about World War One. World War One.
War One.
World War One.
Yeah.
You were 7. You were a young girl. You were a little girl.
6 years old.
Do you have any memories
I have memories.
did you have any dangerous situations?
My father was a Hebrew teacher. We had a home, a nice home. It has a class, you know, like a room where he used to teach children. And my father was a very good nature. And you know, in that little shtetl, there was a lot of children. Some of them didn't have a father, some of them didn't have a mother, you know. And there were small children. They used to come to my father. They didn't have me what to pay. So my mother used to say to my father,